Welcome back. The legacy media, Democrats doling out BS by the truckload right now over Joe Biden's very obviously corrupt business dealings. The new narrative is that Hunter sold the illusion of access by putting his father on speakerphone with all of his business partners so many times. They're so desperate to exonerate our despicably corrupt president, they're making fools of themselves in the media, and they're bleeding credibility that took decades to built by journalists that are so much better than the clowns that you watch every single day, most of the news that you consume. Check out these headlines blasted out in coordination. Illusion of selling access all over the place. They're all in the same group chat with Joe Biden's press people. The president exposed as fully corrupt. We've got the photos, the emails, the texts, the sworn witness testimony to prove it. It's so painfully obvious, like one where Hunter Biden is texting a member of the Chinese Communist Party in 2017 saying, "I'm with my dad," threatening him, "Give us our money." 9 days later, they got millions of dollars. Just a coincidence. Didn't stop Congressman Dan Goldman, though, from rushing out of the Devon Archer hearing during a lunch break, bolting for the cameras because he knows that millions of Americans are suckers. They're not paying attention, and you can so easily lie to them.
Hunter may have put his father on the phone with any number of different people, and they never once spoke about any business dealings. As he described it, it was all casual conversation, niceties, the weather, what's going on.
We deserve so much better. We deserve so much better in this country than whatever that was. Check out the headline from the New York Times trying to fool you into thinking a bombshell is just old news that's already digested. It has long been known that elder Mr. Biden at times interacted with his son's business partners. That is a complete lie. Joe Biden has been lying to all of us for years about this. He always says he has no idea what his son does. He never talks to anybody his son works with. And the lie is being exposed now. Seamus Brunner, Eric Eggers, both from the Government Accountability Institute. They join me. They investigate corruption on both sides of the aisle for a living. Good to see you guys. Seamus, the illusion of access. One thing that I know in this world, people don't throw around millions of dollars for nothing. It's very hard to elicit that kind of money from anyone.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, this illusion of access narrative is total hogwash. We know that Joe Biden was intimately familiar with the deals. I mean, the deals went like this. A foreign oligarch wanted to launder their reputation. They were in some sort of legal trouble or, under the microscope in their own home country. And it's kind of like what the Clintons would do. They would pay the Clinton Foundation. Well, in this case, they would pay Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden would make it look like the oligarch had access to the highest levels of power in the United States. So whether it was niceties or not, getting on the phone with Joe Biden was all of these corrupt individuals needed. And so in the case of Burisma, this is why the Archer testimony is so devastating. Yeah. In the case of Burisma, we know that Burisma wanted this prosecutor fired in Ukraine. Never in the history of our country has the United States vice president gone to another country and said, "Hey, fire this guy, or else you're not getting $1 billion." So that move right there is everything Burisma wanted to pay Hunter Biden for. Yeah. Get this prosecutor out of the way, get Zlochevsky a clean reputation.
Yeah, it's obvious, and it's the biggest scandal we've ever seen in this country from a White House, that's for sure. And they've been making moves during this presidency. We know they've made moves, especially with China, that seem to indicate that that money is paying off. A new poll, Eric, shows a strong majority, 63%. This is a Tip Insights poll. 63% of voters believe Biden should leave the presidency. If bribery allegations are true, 33% say he should be impeached. 30% want him to resign immediately. That's a pretty high number of people that have no tolerance for this whatsoever. What are the odds in your mind that Joe Biden took bribes?
I think that's the literally maybe tens of million-dollar question, and I think that's why Devon Archer's testimony is so important. And to Seamus's point, let's not forget, we have a confidential human source that's talked to the FBI that says the head of Burisma has recordings in which Joe Biden has admitted or was asking for money and knows that those recordings exist. Let's also not forget that Devon Archer said that after being told that they wanted the prosecutor fired, Hunter Biden said, "Hey, we need to go call D.C." Now, we don't know who they called in Washington, D.C. He could have called President Obama. They do share interest in recreational pharmaceuticals, at least previously. But we do know one person who has lived in Washington, D.C., has bragged about getting that prosecutor fired. As Seamus noted, that's the current president of the United States. So I think the American people are absolutely right to be fed up. And the fact that 63% of them say they have no tolerance for it shows why it was all the more devastating that big tech colluded with the Department of Justice to suppress that information ahead of the 2020 election. We might not even be facing the scandals that come in a Biden presidency if the information had been able to be fully reported and fully vetted by the American public 3 years ago. That didn't happen. That's why we are here today. And I think the House Oversight Committee will continue to investigate whether or not Joe Biden personally took money. We do know whether he took money. His family's taken tens of millions of dollars from the Chinese industrial spy complex. So, like, the money's there. So I think the odds are very good.
Got to leave it there. Gentlemen, good to talk to you as always. We appreciate it.